Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen out there in web world. D. Anthony with you here for the second episode of I Am Not a Licensed Therapist. No letters from anyone yet because I don't think anyone's watched this yet. Yay! um, but I did want to talk to you. Obviously, want to do my regular segment this week of reading letters that people have written to other advice columnists and then answering their letter as if it was written to me and then seeing if the other advice columnist gave the same advice. This week I want to talk about expectations, though. Expectations are something that can really bite you in the ass. What I mean to say by that is if you go into something, let's say a movie, let's use a very, very simple analogy. You go into a movie with high expectations and you end up realizing halfway through that you're watching a Michael Bay film, you may come out going, oh my goodness, that was terrible. Whereas if you go into a situation, again, said movie, with hopes that it would be good, there's much less disappointment involved. People go throughout their lives with a lot of expectations for themselves, but a lot of the time, even for the most successful people, expectations can really hamper what it is that they're trying to do with their lives. Whereas if you have hopes and ideas, it can be a lot easier. Best example I can give you is I'm in a band and we are a cover band, and I would never pay money to go see a cover band myself. And so I was pretty bummed out for a long time, really disappointed with what we were doing musically and how I didn't feel my creative muscles were being flexed. And then I realized I'm a guy in my mid-30s who gets to hang out with people whose company I enjoy, getting to play my drums. And so I just needed to stop being so precious about it. I took my expectations and turned them into hopes. And my hopes were being just basically to be able to enjoy myself playing the drums. And once I took out the expectation of being able to write the next Radiohead record, or something to that effect, the next Led Zeppelin record, whatever the case may be. Once I took that expectation out and just went with being hopeful that I'd have a good time that evening, I started having a good time. And so if you go into pretty much any situation in your life with hopes instead of expectations, you can probably find yourself in a lot happier situation. Okay, so there you go. So you learned a little bit of my own personal life. So here we go. I'm going to read. Wow, I went to Dear Mrs. Webb, and there are no letters here on the front page. I am going to hold here, daily advice column, dearmrswebb.com. Here we go. Dear Mrs. Webb, I am looking for impartial advice. My fiance and I are getting married next month. We have a 4-year-old together. My mother-in-law has always been good, not interfering or manipulative, until now. She is in charge of the rehearsal dinner, and instead of having it catered, she decided to host a barbecue. I was disappointed, but agreed. Oh, see? Expectations. My fiance and I gave her the list of the invitees, and now she says she has family in town, about 6 people, who she is including at the dinner. She knows my feelings and is blatantly disregarding them. I told her to forget about the dinner. I would host myself in a restaurant. Now she says that she will not be attending my dinner. My fiance and I agree that this is our wedding and that we should be able to have things the way we want them. She has no right to dictate to us. I don't want my mother-in-law to walk all over me. I think I deserve an apology. Okay, so now before I read Dear Mrs. Webb's answer, I'm going to answer it myself. Lady, you just said so at the beginning that throughout your relationship, up until post nuptials with your soon to be husband, that your mother in law has been a pretty easygoing and pretty easy to get along with. Now that the wedding's coming up, she is maybe trying to go a little overboard because her son's getting married and she wants to impress people probably. There's probably a lot of other context involved. Did she get the kind of wedding that she wanted? Is she just really excited for you? Does she really want to show you how much she cares? And by doing this, is this a way that she knows that she can do so? The other thing to take into account is you're still getting married, after the rehearsal dinner. Yeah, okay, she has family coming from out of town, and maybe you could have said, or maybe your fiance could say, Mom, We know you don't see relatives much, but still, like it's adding 6 extra people to the rehearsal dinner, and these people aren't necessarily on the guest list. Is there any way that we can get together with them the next day? I mean, compromises can be made. I don't know if you try to make compromises, but it really sounds like you're just decided that no, 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 this is my day. I get to wear the big boy pants, or in your case, the big girl pants. You know what? On my wedding day, I lost my car. I put my underwear on inside out because I was a little nervous. The a couple guests showed up with extra people that we hadn't accounted for in the catering, and the master of ceremonies was late. And let's see what else happened. And the um, justice of the peace, who was going to deliver it, decided that because his voice wasn't very strong, even though we had a microphone system set up, that he was going to have his wife read the nuptials. In fact, his wife even read our names wrong. And at the end of it, he looked at me and he said, "Are you okay with all this?" And I said, "You know what? I'm still going home with my wife at the end of the night. So, big deal." And he looked at me and he was surprised at how easygoing I was. He said, "You're the most easygoing groom I've ever met." And that really surprised me because honestly, you're getting married. The whole day is about you. And yeah, there's other family stuff involved. Your mother's not telling you what music to pick and what dessert to pick and etc. 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 Let her invite 6 people to the rehearsal dinner. It's a big deal. So there we go. Expectations versus hopes. Blah, 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 blah. The answer here from dear Mrs. Webb: I do think an apology is in order. I think you should get off your prima donna high horse and, along with your fiance, beg your mother-in-law's pardon for your rudeness. Imagine telling the host. Oh, good at that. Sitting on the same page. Imagine telling the hosts whom they can invite. This is not how honored guests behave. Just because you are getting married does not mean the world revolves around you. Your mother-in-law is not walking all over you. She is getting out of your way. Wow. Good thing that this woman asked for impartial advice. Well, there you go, folks. Email me, notherapist@gmail.com, or you can leave comments if anyone actually starts to watch this. There is a comment section here on YouTube. Again, notherapist@gmail.com. This is it for the week of October the 15th. My dad's birthday is coming up in under a week, and if he sees this, happy birthday, Dad. And we'll go from there. Oh, and Marvel, hopefully you don't, or actually it's Disney now, hopefully you don't mind me touting how much I love Spider-Man. Cheers, everyone. Until next time.